So, I wanted to do this video with you just to speak into denomination, associational leaders. I genuinely, I really mean this. I want to get to the point where churches don't need to call me, like where they're calling you directly, and you and your staff are the front line. What would you say to? So there's my sales pitch. Call me. I'd love to certify you. Right. What would you say? What would be your encouragement to just other association denominational leaders, Baptist or not? The Lutherans or the Methodists listening in. What would you tell them?
I would say that I think you need to consider your own personal development as a leader. And sometimes our organizations, our structures suffer because we as leaders quit learning. We need to continue to grow as a person, as a follower of Christ, and be all that God wants us to be. I know that sounds like the army. This isn't the army, but I do think God wants us to be all
Spiritual
that,
army, right?
yeah, all that God has designed us to be. And if my association quits growing because my lack of leadership, then I believe God holds me responsible for what happens in our association. So I would simply encourage you to consider your own personal growth, but also consider adding more effective tools that you can offer churches to help them fulfill the mission or the design that God has given them. And really, we're here to serve churches. Our mission statement is to connect, encourage, and support churches for kingdom impact. And if a tool helps, we want to add it to our toolbox.
Yeah.
And
there's lots of tools.
Yeah.
What I do is one of those tools, right? But there's a lot of tools out there, man, that are fantastic.
From my perspective, this tool hits a definite need in our churches. It's a vacuum.
Yeah.
And most of the time when there's a vacuum of leadership,
Man.
typically the wrong person steps in that vacuum.
Yeah.
And we want to have healthy processes. One of the pieces of paperwork that we're provided is an emergency plan. What do we do in the case of an emergency? We take care of our families, or we should take care of our families.
Yeah.
We should have a will. We should have life insurance, other things that are going to provide for our families.
A place where the documents actually are and safe, and people know where it is.
Yeah.
It's
so
much,
our kids don't have to go search through everything to figure it all out.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't we do that? If we do that for our bride and our family, why shouldn't we do that for the bride of Christ and our spiritual family?
Yeah.
I think we as leaders ought to hold ourselves to a higher standard. It's not easy. There's a lot to learn, but making the commitment to do it, I think, is vitally important.
The thing that in 2010, I commissioned the Barna Group to do a national survey on the topic of succession. At that time, they interviewed 600 pastors for me. I recreated that and I expanded that survey in 2019. And what was fascinating to me is the number of churches, that number of pastors that we surveyed in 2019 that said that they were interested in succession planning, transition resources. 6 in 10 pastors said that they were definitely or they were definitely interested or just interested. 6 in 10. I'm scratching my head. I'm like, man, is there another topic outside of like funding ministry or the topic of disciple making? Like 6 in 10 pastors are saying they want resources in this. I'm like, man, is there another topic that is that front of mind in this? And I just asked the question, if our pastors are telling, I didn't make that up. I hired the Barna Group to do the research for a reason. They're very credible. And it's like, if we have that many pastors asking for help or wanting resources, why would we not? Why would associations and denominations not want to be the experts or be the go-to resource provider? And I can have the opportunity to equip you to do that.
Yeah.
So you guys can be the front line to a massive conversation. So, Daryl, thank you, man, for your friendship, for your just the relationship we've developed. We're still figuring this whole thing out, right? But I would love to have a conversation with you. But if you don't want to call me first, call Daryl first. Reach out to SABA and just say, hey, Daryl, you just he'll give you the honest opinion on me and the tools and stuff. And I'm learning. He's been helping me grow what I do. But we'd love to connect with you. I'd love to talk to you about how we could embed these tools into your resources that you offer your local churches.
One last thought.
Yeah.
Just a final parting thought. You and I as ministers are not guaranteed tomorrow. And there's no guarantee that we're going to live into tomorrow. So we better make plans today for those around us, and to leave things in good shape, and to do the best we can while we have the moments that we have. But we're not guaranteed tomorrow. So God bless you in your planning. God bless you in your thought process. If we can help you, we'd be glad to.
Great. Thanks, Daryl. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.